Welcome to the new Q's workshop. So this has been a project that I've been working on for the last 2 months. It's a IBR outside work shed slash storage shed that I've put some bubble insulation on and then covered that up with just some wood. We've got power coming in. The plugs will come once all the machinery's in, that I've got an idea of where the plugs need to go. I've got some rubber mat flooring in. Yeah, this is going to be the new workshop. The garage has got a bit small, too tight space to work in. Got to keep on moving the car out, moving machinery around and doing the work and then cleaning up again before I can pull the car back in. So this is really going to help out with more just a closed door and go when I'm finished working or I'm tired. So I'm going to slowly but surely start moving the machinery in here, and I'll show you what it looks like. I've got some snippets of the work that I've been doing in the last 2 months. I haven't recorded everything, but there's a lot of work that's gone in here, but I'll put little snippets in to show you what I've all been doing. So it's just a IBR work shed built by GVR Custom Design. It's just under 3 meters, 2.8 by 2.8 meters. I'm currently busy with framing out the inside a bit. So for instance there I've put some pieces on the roof, that's so that for lighting and so on. I'm also going to insulate it, so I need something to mount the insulation against, primarily because of the hot summer months. I'm scared it gets a bit too hot in here. I've been told that it should be fine. They generally feel cooler than what you think they would, but I'm probably going to do some insulation, specifically on the roof. I can already see condensation forming on it, so just to help with that. Because it's really a outdoor shed, it needs some waterproofing at least around some of the edges. So here you can see I've already started filling these in with some poly buttons. There you can see the corner is actually still open, so I've got to make a little piece that fits in the corner there. But what I'm doing is just closing up all these gaps to seal the floor. The floor is going to be raised a little bit in the inside, so it's going to be screed about 10 mil in the inside, just to help with some of the water, that it doesn't seep in. So if it rains and drips down on the outside, that it doesn't seep into the inside. So the floor will be raised a bit. We'll have rubber flooring put over that. I've got the power coming in over here, so it'll have a DB sitting against the wall as well. So yeah, the next stage is just to get some framing built on the inside, put along the walls. Roof is done, and once that's complete and all the framing's done, then it'll be the electrical and lastly the floor. Alright, I've completed the framing in preparation of the insulation. So I've got 2 different kinds of insulation that I'm going to put on the roof. It's almost like a bubble wrap, single-sided. So it's just got this white on the one side that will face the inside of the shed, and then a foil type insulation on the outside, so that will face the IBR. So I have left, and there is going to be a bit of an air gap, so with all the plywood that's on the framing, it does leave a little bit of an air gap between the IBR and the insulation. That's just to help with airflow and the temperature. So most of your insulations are rated based on that air gap. So I have to make sure there is a bit of an air gap. I wouldn't say it's a cool day. It's 20 degrees Celsius here today, and already it's pretty warm inside the shed. I've got the windows open. There is a bit of a breeze for airflow, but ultimately it's still pretty toasty in here. So I'm hoping the insulation is going to help with that. I've got a bit more framing on this side, because that's where the DB board has to go, and a whole bunch of, so there it comes out the ground. So I've got pipes going under the ground. So power is going to come out here, so I've put extra framing here just for the pipes going up. Essentially this middle one over here is going to be where the power goes around the sides. But yeah, I'm going to get onto the insulation now again. Alright, where I left it last time was the framing, and I needed to do the insulation. It's been a while. As you can see, there's been quite a bit of progress. So I've installed the insulation. It's behind the wood here as well. Got the lights installed. The distribution board, power comes in, distribution board, I got the light. It's all up in the top. So the insulation on this wall on this side, so this is where the sun hits the most. The insulation on the roof and on this side is double, just to help with some of the protection, at least thermal protection. I've added it's just a thin ply type board over it, just to help probably keep it clean is one, because it's going to get pretty dusty in here with this bubble type insulation. It's going to hold dust and things on it. So I thought let me just add some wood covering over it to help keep it a bit clean. The other reason was for the milling and lathe work, so when it's got hot steel swarf that's being sprayed all over the place, I'm sure that was going to melt and stick to this plastic coating. I don't know exactly how much it would, but I'm sure after a couple of months, years worth of that, it's going to really take some damage. So I thought let me add this wood, and that will help protect it at least a little bit. So next steps is the floor. So I'm going to do some self-leveling screed on the floor just to heighten it a little bit from the outside. So the concrete slab is level with the outside, and my concern is when it rains, it could seep in. Even though I have tried to seal it, I'm sure eventually, without maintaining the ceiling and that kind of stuff, it's going to leak in a bit, especially in this corner here. Probably when it rains, I think this corner takes the most amount of water, and it does actually seep in here. It rained now in the week a bit, and I actually saw the concrete was wet there. So I got some self-leveling screed. That's going to happen today, so I've just got to clean up inside here, and then once that's all dry, I've got some rubber flooring. This what do they call it? I don't know if it's button or coin flooring, rubber flooring, that I'm going to lay over the top of it. Right, the screed is done inside. I'm not going to give anybody advice on how to do screed. I got a lot of bubbles and made little holes at it was either overmixed, so I aerated it too much. So you probably used either the wrong mixer or just mixed it too much, aerated it too much, didn't have it stand long enough before I poured it. But because it was the first time I've done this, I really just wanted to get it done as quick as possible before it starts setting, that I can get it into place and have it actually self-level as best possible. Next up is the rubber flooring. So I've just started mapping out how it's going to go, how much space I've got to leave on the sides, because I'm obviously going to have to cut one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one and then use a section on the one side and probably a section on the other side. So I'm going to see how they play out. Otherwise, because obviously that one has to get cut, so I'll move it all the way to the one side. The one thing that I'm still considering is a vapor or moisture layer between the concrete and the rubber floors. Everywhere where I look online, they say it's advisable to put a vapor/moisture layer in between it. I've already got that under the concrete. So before I poured the concrete, I actually put a moisture barrier down just to help that it doesn't pull moisture into the cement out of the ground. But I might then just look at, I've still got some left over, maybe put that here on top and then put the plastic on that, or the rubber flooring on that. But yeah, I'm just checking how the squares are going to fit and exactly where I'm kind of going to start and work towards. It does get difficult sometimes because you get certain ones that they haven't been cleaned up with the machine properly. I don't know if you can see that. They haven't really been cleaned with the machine properly. So you've either got to try and clean that now out with a blade, or when you're trying to hit two together, this prohibits it from fitting together nicely. I've got the same ones in the garage. I really struggle to get those down. They looked worse than what these are. I really struggle to get them down, so hopefully I don't struggle to get these nicely placed. That one went in pretty good. I did clean it out a little bit with a blade just to make sure that it fits in. Right, move has been completed. All my tools and everything has been moved out of the garage into the workshop. There's not much left to do. Couple of things here and there. More of it is to get a feel for where everything is, and if I'm satisfied with the placement of the tools, more specifically the bigger tools, and once I'm satisfied with that, then I'll get some more power routed in here. At the moment I've just got the one plug box against the wall here where I'm just going to feed a lead from to the bigger machines while I'm using them in the beginning to get a feel for their placement. One of the reasons is that the lathe sits right here on the side, so there is enough place there to stand and work safely. I guess on camera it does look a little bit closer, but there is enough space there to stand safely and work. But I'll see how comfortable I am when I'm actually working, to see if I want to move the lathe maybe a little bit over this way or onto this workbench over here. I didn't really want the lathe in front of the windows, so I wanted it one side, but now with the mill standing there it does seem a bit close. It's also that workbench is a lot sturdier than this one here. This one was partially bolted against the wall in the garage as well, so it was sturdier in the garage than what it is standing on its own here, where that workbench is, and that's 50mm square tubing, so it's quite sturdy and heavy on its own. So plug routing will come once I'm comfortable with where the machines are. I'll route some more power in there, see along the corners, and then probably just on this side for the open workbench for some power. Then these drawers needs to have a top put on, so I'm just gonna get some wood to put on the top of this, and a vise. So I'm not sure if I'm going to add a vise here, maybe on the one side, or it has to stand on that workbench. But it's a pretty big vise. It's the one that I restored some time ago. It's standing there at the moment. If I have it standing here in the middle of this workbench, it's practically going to take the whole place up. So I might fit it on the side over here, just to that it's out the way, or I'll make something that it's removable, can take it, put it away when I want to use it, bring it up and put it up pretty easily. The last thing is the whiteboard. So I've had this whiteboard in the garage for quite some time. It was way too big to put up in here, so I split it into two pieces. So the one is against the wall, the one is there. I might trim that a bit shorter, have a piece against that wall, and then a piece here between these two windows. I'll just have to get some aluminium to add around the edges. So I've got this piece here which actually came off, so I'll kind of buy the same aluminium channeling just to add around the sides, that I can fit it against the wall nicely. But that's it. Finally in. And we'll get some projects. I mean, you'll probably see there's some drawings up over there already. So there is a project being planned. There's a couple of smaller things that I want to do. But stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one.